All right, so on 8.8, what we're going to do is we are going to look at problems that are binomial, two-parters. And so what did we talk about last week, or earlier this week, I should say, about two-part problems? What are we looking for? There's one thing we're looking for. What are we looking for?
GCF.
GCF. Guys, you're always looking for GCF. GCF pretty much is your response all the time. First step, GCF. Okay? But if I look here at x squared and 25, is there GCF here?
No.
No. Okay? It doesn't mean, though, that it's not factorable. Okay? So what we're going to start looking at problems today is what happens when we have a two-part problem with no GCF. Is it still factorable, yes or no? Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. Okay? And so that's what we're going to look at today. But before we do that, I want to backtrack. I want to review this guy right here. Okay? Does anybody remember what the name of this guy was? This was a bonus in our last test. Anybody remember what the name of this guy was? What it was the same thing, but it had different signs. Difference of squares. Good job, Chloe. Okay, so difference of squares. So DOS. That's what this guy is, right? Okay? And on the last test, what did I ask you to do with this guy?
To distribute it.
Distribute or FOIL, right? So we would take x times x and get x squared, and take x plus 4 and get plus 4x. This is just a review of the last test. Then we would distribute the negative 4, so negative 4x, and then negative 4 times 4, and get negative 16. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were foiling last test. Okay, now what happens right here?
They cancel out.
They cancel out, okay? And so we got x squared minus 16. Now, when I talked to you about difference of squares, we just talked about what the problem looked like, and it's the same thing, different signs, okay? Difference of squares actually comes from the answer. That's why it's named difference of squares, okay? So think about difference. Difference has to be subtraction of squares. And what that means is that both these parts are square rootable, okay? Now, I understand that we have not worked with variable square roots yet. However, if I have two x's, how do you break them in evenly?
By row 2.
Huh? If you have two x's, how do we break them up evenly? Right, we just separate. One goes one place, one goes the other. X and x, right? So if 2, we break them out evenly. So if there were 4, how would we break those up? 2 and 2. If there were 8,
4 and 4.
4 and 4. Okay, so we just are breaking them out evenly. Okay? Now, 16, can we square root 16?
Yes.
Yes, so you can square root and square root. That's what squares means. Difference of squares. Subtracting two squares. Okay, that's where that name actually comes from. All right, so when we are looking at this guy, we are going to figure out how do we get back to him. All right, that's what we're looking for. So now, if I were to pretend like I just gave you this as your problem, and I asked you to break it up, okay? You are going to put two parentheses, and x squared, we just said, would break evenly to x and x. All right? We have said that difference of squares has to be a plus and a minus in the middle. And what's the square root of 16?
4.
4 and 4. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay? So they're going to give us the answer, and we are just going to square root those parts. Okay? All right. So today, not hard day. Not a real hard day today. Okay? All right, so let's look at number 1 here. X squared minus 25. What do you guys think here? What do you think your answers are going to look like here? Quentin, what do you got?
X plus 5 minus 1.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Okay, so square root x squared. It breaks down to x and x. Square root 25, 5 and 5. And then to get the middle, right, to get that middle to drop away, I need a plus and a minus to make the middle cancel out. Does that make sense? Okay? All right, so let's try another one. Okay? What are we thinking on this one? Someone besides Quentin on this one. Chloe, what are you thinking?
H and H.
Okay, wait a second. All right, and I'm going to keep the H's out back. If they're out back, they stay out back. Okay? What else you got?
And then 25.
Ooh, not quite. Hundreds.
10.
Tens. There we go. 10 and 10. And then what goes in the middle?
A plus and minus.
Good. A plus and a negative, or a minus. Okay, so guys, really, we square rooted and we square rooted, plus minus in the middle. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Okay, someone else want to try to do one now? What do we think here? Ben, what you got?
4h minus 3, and then 4h plus 3.
Nice job. Okay, so square root, right? Square root of 16 is 4. H squared breaks to h and h. Square root of 9 is 3. That's it. That's all there is. Are we doing okay so far? Okay, try number 4 on your own real quick. Okay, if you don't know square root of 121, put it in your calculator. If you don't know how to put square root in your calculator, let me know so I can help you.
It's 11. Yes, ma'am.
What's that?
Okay, so it's this one,
Yeah.
it's this one, then the number.
Yeah, go second function.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, awesome. You guys good on square root buttons? Okay. All right, so now when I break this down, okay, what was the square root of 121? 11. Okay, what happened with that a squared?
Split.
Yep, split it, break it up, however you want to say that. What goes in the middle?
Plus the,
Plus, minus. Okay, what about 4?
2b,
2's, and then b squared?
b.
B and B, okay? So if the variable's on front, keep it on front, variable's on back, keep it attached to the back, okay? All right, so now let's take a look real quick at number 5 here. Okay, on number 5, we have an issue here. We have a couple issues, really. Can you square root 27 and get a nice, pretty number?
No.
No, it ends up being some sort of decimal, okay? G to the 3rd, can that be broken down evenly? No, so we have a lot of issues here. There's a lot of things. Some of it is fixable, okay? And what I mean by fixable is now we're going to take the 2 ideas that we have talked about, we're going to put it all together. Okay, so earlier this week I taught you about 2 parts and 3 parts. We pull a what? GCF. Okay, that was the first part of your homework. Okay, pull a GCF. Now we've also picked up difference of squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 ideas and now put them together. Okay, so truly the first thing that we are always going to be looking for every problem is a GCF. So if I'm looking here, what would my GCF here be? What would be my greatest common number? Okay, and what we got?
3.
3, close. What else? What are your variables?
3G.
3G, okay? So if you can pull a GCF, guys, you actually have to do that first, okay? You have to pull GCFs, okay? All right, so now when I do that, and again, if you need to write it underneath there, go ahead and do that. So what is 27G to the 3rd divided by 3G? What do we get there? 9G squared, good. What's 3G divided by 3G? 1, okay? So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of write a note off to the side here, okay? Pull GCF. That's really important. That's actually the first thing we need to always be doing, but I had to teach you about difference of squares first, okay? So we're going to pull GCF first, okay? Then step 2 is look for difference of squares. So we're trying to figure out, is there a difference of squares there, okay? So now, it's not, you're never going to have a difference of squares with what you pulled out. This is your GCF. He's hanging out. We're looking on the inside, okay? Can I square root 9? Yes, okay. G squared. Yeah. What about 1? Can you square root 1? No. What times what get you 1? 1. Are those the same numbers? So yeah, that's square root of 1 is 1. Kevin, it's a rough day for you today, bud.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so we square root, right? We can do that, and we can square root here. Okay? So when we do this, I'm going to break this down to 3G minus 1 and 3G plus 1. Does that make sense? Okay? And now, that GCF out front, remember that guy? Okay? You just drop him straight down. He just hangs out front. You don't have to do anything special with him. Just keep him there. Okay? So, I pulled out a GCF first, and then I broke down difference of squares. Okay? Alright, so let's try it one more time here. Okay, on this problem, guys, if they've stuck the negative out front, what my recommendation for you would be is just to rewrite it as 9y minus 4y to the third. I would just rewrite it and get that negative in the middle. That way it looks like a difference of squares, okay? That's not gonna come up a ton, but it does come up every once in a while, okay? All right, GCF. Is there a GCF here?
Yes.
What is it?
Y.
Y, okay? Now, the 9 and 4, were they ready to be broke down? Yeah, they were good, because we can square root them, but the problem was we have a Y1 and a Y3. 3 Y's don't break up evenly, all right? You can't have 1.5 Y's, okay? They have to be whole numbers, okay? So, when I'm looking at this, this is the problem area we need to fix, and we fix it by pulling what we just heard over here, the GCF, which is Y. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the GCF, okay, and then I have 9 minus 4y squared. So I just took a y out of both parts. Are we okay with that? Good? Okay. All right, so now you're asking yourself, is this a difference of squares? Yeah? Okay, sometimes it may not be. Sometimes you pull up GCF, it may not work. Like if I change this guy over to an 8, or not an 8, like a 19, all of a sudden, all you can do is pull a GCF. There's no way to square root of 19, so you'd be done at that point. Okay? But in this case, we know that we can square root a 9, right? And we can square root of 4y squared. So we're going to do it. Okay? Anybody want to give me their final answer here? What do you think the final answer would look like? Okay, Chloe, what you got?
Y up front, and then 3 minus 2y,
Okay.
and then 3 plus 2y.
Very good. Sorry. You don't know? Okay, sorry. And 3 plus 2y? All right, and that's your answer. Okay, so far, does anybody see a question that they have? Okay, all right, last question. All right, what do you guys think about this last one here? Okay, Ben, what you got?
5r minus 7, and then 5r plus 7.
Nope. You knew I was going to throw 1 in on you. Why is that not right? No, no. I mean, when we did the earlier ones, we only had 1 variable, right? So that was okay. 1 variable, 2 variable, we don't care about that. There's one thing that tells us this is not a difference of squares. Plus sign, very good. That guy right there, not a difference of squares, okay? So he's not a difference of squares. Is there a GCF here?
No.
No, there's no GCF, there's no difference of squares. What do you think we're writing?
No.
Prime, okay? In this case, there's nothing you can do to this, okay? All because of that little guy right there, okay? Now, here's how I want you to think about it. Think about this, okay? If it has a positive relationship, positive, think about your relationships, okay? If you have a positive relationship, you want to maintain that relationship. It's a good, strong relationship. Don't break it up. If you have a negative relationship, you want to break that up, all right? So negative relationships, we want to break up and break it down. If it has a positive relationship, do not break that apart. That's a good thing, okay? All right, that's all we're going to do for today.